We're not.
Here we go. Welcome.
Oh shit! There it is.
That time to be a time.
Yeah. Oh no.
Hello, Josh.
Hi, Luke.
Welcome to another episode of our podcast.
It's week 12.
Good Lord. Can you believe it is week 12 already?
It feels like it was just week 11.
It does feel like it was just week 11.
Time flies, man.
If only we measured the actual year in football weeks.
That'd be pretty good, because this year feels like it's like 7 years long.
It has felt very bad.
Pretty long in terms of time dilation. I'm just reading some of the questions here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's some good ones. No T.Y. Hilton questions though.
People have finally moved on. I think
they have.
I think they're ready to accept it, and America is better for it.
Yeah, I think we can finally get past the great T.Y. Hilton confusion of 2017.
The great
T.Y.
Hilton.
The great, not the great T.Y. Hilton, but the great confusion about T.Y. Hilton.
Ah, yes.
He's not great.
Yeah.
He's an enigma.
He is a good wide receiver that could really benefit from not being on the Colts.
Not being on the Colts. Hey, maybe nobody will be on the Colts. Maybe Andrew Luck is like, I don't want to be on the Colts.
That's true.
It seems like he kind of doesn't want to be on the Colts.
And good luck to everybody in Indianapolis attempting to sue the team to get their ticket money back.
That's not how it works.
Oh, it is.
You can get it back?
Didn't we talk about this last week?
No, but I know that they were doing that.
Yeah, well, they're trying to sue because before the season started, they got like a guarantee from the owner that Luck was coming back this season.
Well, then maybe they can do it. That was stupid.
And now, oops.
Well, that place, I was there last summer, and that's all they got there.
It's true. So welcome to the Week 12 episode of the Fantasy Football podcast. I assume there are many of you traveling this evening, but that's okay. We're going to have a show here for you anyway, and you'll be able to watch it tomorrow morning when you wake up. And before the 12:30 football festivities begin with the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings, followed shortly thereafter by the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. And then at 8 o'clock, you have arguably the worst football game for Thursday night in a long time, the New York Football Giants and the Washington football team. So 3 games tomorrow to keep you away from your family. If you're like me, you can't wait to watch football no matter how bad it is.
Oh, yeah, I'll watch that stupid game. Hopefully it's another 12-9 scorcher.
Oof, 12-9.
I just want to see as many field goals as possible.
God, given how bad football went in Week 11, it can only go up from here. But then again, I mean, the Eagles game was only bad for like 2 quarters.
I'm glad I wasn't with you. I was getting a little cranky.
No, that was the best reason to never do a live stream again.
I would have probably thrown something at something. I was like, what is happening right now?
I had all the earmarks of
a Philadelphia Eagles stinko.
Right. But it was like, okay, the defense is defensing, and all of a sudden Carson Wentz is like North Dakota high school college quarterback and doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to head face first right into Week 12. This week's show brought to you by Funko and their numerous subscription boxes, the Marvel Collector's Corps, the Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, and the DC Legion of Collectors. You could subscribe through Funko at any of the websites, marvelcollectors.com, smugglersbounty.com, and legionofcollectors.com.
That's a lot.
Well, I figured that because they're not every month, they're like each one is like a different month.
Is it like a loot box? Do they
Yes, it's a
send you
loot
them?
box. So you get a guaranteed exclusive Funko Pop,
That's
a
fun.
T-shirt or some socks.
Ooh.
Usually there's like a pin or a keychain. Uh,
Yeah.
the most recent Star Wars box came with some First Order socks, a
Oh, I don't
First
know.
Order bandana,
What?
and a Poe Dameron in his X-wing uh,
Toy?
pop
Oh,
figure.
oh, nice.
The Marvel ones and DC ones often come with comic books, et cetera, et cetera. Each one available now through Funko's services for $15 a month? Question mark.
That's
Should
like
have
a
looked. Should have
subscription.
looked that up. I get them for free, so
Who knows? Just be Luke and you get them for free.
it's true. So anyway, as you may or may not have known, Josh and I were both at PAX Unplugged this past weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty good show. What'd you think of PAX Unplugged?
It was very big. I did not expect it to be that big. I don't know. I've been to PAX before, so I don't know why I was like assuming it wasn't going to be huge, but it was large. It was overwhelming. And I've never really been in the convention center like that before. I've never been to like a flower show or a car show, whatever, auto show.
Yeah.
So I didn't really realize like how big it was in there. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, but you've been to stuff like you guys were at Indie PopCon.
Yeah, it's not as it was like just the room itself full of people playing games was fucking huge.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's a little different than like a MagFest, right? Where MagFest has kind of everything like cordoned off into separate areas.
Yeah, it's a little
This is just like, here it is.
Yeah, it's all up in the open. But I did the coat check. That was fun. I checked my bag.
You had to check your bag.
I didn't want to carry it around. I was like, fuck this, carrying this shit around.
Well, did you see anything cool? You guys came to see Pro Jared play D&D.
Yeah, we came to see dice camera action, and that was fun. And then I had to leave early because I had to go take a train back to the Great White North.
Right, trains don't run all night like they do in some other metropolitan areas.
Philadelphia is real stupid about the train. They're like, no. But it was cool. Yeah, no, I had a good time. There's a lot of stuff there I wanted to look at and play and buy. So there it is. They did it.
Yeah, they did a good job. I hope it comes back next year, and I hope I think the best thing I played a couple different games, but I think Big Trouble in Little China, the board game, is like something I'm gonna need to make happen.
Yeah, I'd like to play the Rambo one too.
It looked cool. I didn't get to play test that one.
Yeah,
but if it's as good for Rambo as Big Trouble in Little China was for Big Trouble in Little China, you'll be straight.
Rambo.
So how did you do in football?
Though? My streak ended in my other league.
Oh, it's over.
Mel's husband destroyed me. I had a really good week, but he destroyed me. He had like the best week of the season out of anybody. He got like it's a non-PPR league, and he got like 150 points. So.
Woo, child.
Yeah, he had Jaguars defense, and he had just all kinds of like absurd points. I knew on like Thursday I'm not gonna win because he got like a ton of points with somebody, like you did, Brutal.
Well, to be fair and to give mad credit to Brutal Moose's team, it was a lot closer than it should have been.
I was watching it, and it was like a Rocky 2, just wailing on each other, dude. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because what happened was Thursday night I had Antonio Brown just go off. Yeah. Like he went bananas, and then I'm actually bringing up the score sheet here so I can get a proper coverage here. So I had Antonio Brown go nuts. And then his team started playing. You know, he didn't have anybody going on Thursday, and his teams were playing on Sunday. So he had, Jarvis Landry start piling up some points. Yeah. And then Mark Ingram had his day piling up some points. And then Evan Ingram didn't do a whole lot. But Duke Johnson in that wild game against Jacksonville was compiling points. And going into Sunday night's game, in which I had Carson and the Eagles defense ready to go, I was actually losing because he had Keenan Allen, who beasted 12 catches,
he went nuts.
160, 2 touchdowns. He almost matched Antonio Brown beat for beat.
That's so sucky if that would have been.
And it basically came down to me needing the Philadelphia defense to score and
do something
and man up, and Carson Wentz to do great.
Yeah,
and then the first half of that game happened, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Woo.
And then the second half happened. The Eagles defense went, ballistic on the Dallas line. Carson Wentz remembered how to throw passes. We lost Footloose for the game, so they had to go for 2-point conversions. So those gave me
bought a bunch of tiny
little stat boosts there.
Yep.
And I ended up finally winning. I mean, look, it's 178 to 143, but that the final score is not indicative of how close it was going into Sunday night's game.
Yeah, you think you're gonna win, right? You guys were slugging it out. I was watching it and I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" Because I was like,
there's a reason he was in first place in our league.
I know.
And there's a reason why we're having him on the show this week, because he's such a champ until he's not. Now he's a chump. Because I roasted him.
Well, I got to play him this week, so he's gonna whoop me bad. I think. I'm not looking forward to it.
You should look forward to it. He's not as tough as he looks.
He's not?
No.
He looks
if I could dismantle him so easily by biting all the fingernails off my hands. But mostly that was just due to the Eagles, not due to this game.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that game. All right. Normally we do cover listener emails at the start of the show, but we're actually going to hold off on doing listener emails until later in the show when we have Brutal Moose on. Brutal Moose will be coming on in the 9 o'clock hour. We're going to get through our waiver wire snags and the monster game and stuff like that, and then we're gonna call up Mr. Brutal Moose himself and get him on the show to handle listener questions from top to bottom with us. Just have a little fun on this Thanksgiving Eve, Turkey Day.
Yeah, this is gin.
Josh is getting ready. I can't have a gin because I have to support our sponsors during the show.
You have to say their names correctly.
Yes, and what type of gin are you drinking, Josh? What gin is sponsoring us this evening?
Gordon's bottom shelf gin. If you really want to get shitty and you're poor, drink a bunch of Gordon's.
There it is.
Like my pop.
There it is. That's a great sponsorship. Speaking of sponsors, it's time for the Wendy's Waiver Wire Snags You Want, brought to you by Wendy's. Junior Bacon Cheeseburgers now just $1.59 at the Wendy's drive-thru.
Dude,
all right.
Did we talk about the Chipotle, the sriracha sauce last week?
Oh, tell me all about your sriracha sauce experience.
I love it. It's the best sauce in all of fast fooddom. It's so fucking good. Holy shit. You get it with the nuggets. You dip that half of that nugget in there, and you just slosh it up in there, and you pop it in. Damn,
Would you say it's awesome?
It's awesome. It's beyond that. It's the best one. I hoard it. I ask for extras, and I hide it around the house.
That's a strange thing to do with fast food sauce, my friend.
I have a problem.
All right. Well, this week's waiver wire snags you want. The old sriracha Samaj Perrine.
There you go. He's the only one left.
Samaj Perrine.
Perrine.
Basically, everybody else, since they built the Washington football stadium on an Indian burial ground, is dead. Chris Thompson, who is having a season.
Yeah, he's done.
Broke his leg. Fat Rob Kelly is just too fat. Too many Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburgers.
No such thing.
And that leaves Mr. Perrine as the lone back to carry the load
And Brandon Marshall from the Eagles from 2 weeks ago, and they cut him, I guess, right? They had to
Oh,
let him go.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's
cool.
on there. He was returning kicks.
Good for him. Good for him. But P. Ryan, yes, if for somehow people didn't add him in your league last week, I saw he's still only owned in like 60% of some leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, snap that guy up.
Get
Him up. Elsewhere, we're looking at wide receiver Kenny Stills of the Miami Dolphins. And you might be saying to yourself, now, guys, last week you recommended Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
And he farted a big deuce on the field.
Yeah.
But what we had to say about Kenny Stills is if Matt Moore plays, Kenny Stills gets targeted.
He likes the Kenny Stills.
He likes the Kenny Stills and Nash is
Kenny Stills and Nash.
Right? You like that? That's that's a little Chris Berman for you.
That's pretty good. That's good.
But yes, Kenny Stills, solid wide receiver. Matt Moore has some good chemistry with him. He's a solid ad available in a lot of leagues if you need some wide receiver help.
Yeah.
And Leonard Fournette, a little bit of a bum ankle. Still playing on it, but it's a little bit of a bum ankle. So if you're looking for a stash, TJ Yeldon.
Yeldon. That's what I call him.
Yeldon. Those are three people to look at this week, one of which is playing tomorrow and has a very favorable matchup against the New York Football Giants. Such a favorable matchup, I might say consider picking him up just for tomorrow's games. But now the Neutrogena no-nos of the week.
Oh, this one hurts you. I can tell this one hurts your feelings.
Neutrogena no-nos of the week. Break free from your breakout. And bench and cut Cameron Brate.
No, how could you say that? He's your boy.
You were talking, so you couldn't see me giving the RIP piece. It's time to give up.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Oh man, he had a good run.
Oh, he had a great run. He was a real strong contender for a good tight end at the start of the season. But Tampa Bay is just troubled.
Yeah, what's going on down there? Is it too nice? They're just relaxing too much. They don't have a bye since week 1. Is that the problem?
It could be. I mean, they needed like that bye week to collect themselves.
Yeah, they benched. What's his name? Right, Winston. He's benched.
He's somewhat hurt, but maybe not really.
Yeah,
right?
He's hurt. Right. He doesn't feel good.
And he also groped an Uber driver.
Apparently, yeah.
Allegedly groped an Uber driver, and Ronald Darby was in the car.
Sure, why not? I don't know.
But yeah, I think the Cameron Brate is. I think the time has come, and it's time to move on.
Rip.
Otherwise, Seattle running back Mr. J.D. McKissick.
Do not ever pick any Seattle running back.
And that was what I was going to say. Despite his many touches in the second half last week, he put up 55, 58 yards total offense in the third and fourth quarters last week. But you just cannot like the New England backfield. There's no agreement on which Seattle running back to pick.
That team is so frustrating. They are constantly almost on the verge of winning games, and there's logically there's no reason that they should be winning these. Like Russell Wilson is just single-handedly he'll throw the ball and then catch it himself, and then it's the one guy cannot play the whole team, but Russell Wilson is holding that whole team together. It's so freaking frustrating. If I was a Seahawks fan, I would lose my fucking mind. They don't have a line.
I think a Seahawks fan is losing her mind in our comment section right now.
Yeah, I know. We're having a Seahawks fan on the show later too.
Can we talk for a second about how Pete Carroll single-handedly blew that game by going for a fake field goal?
He bet against himself that week.
He bet against himself. He was like, you know what? It's we're going to go for it. And all we need is 3 points to end this half. And then, whoops, and you lost the game by 3 points, dog.
The dumbest fucking move ever. Dude, that guy is an idiot. He's an idiot. He's dumb.
Dentine. That should be who sponsors Pete Carroll. Dentine.
That's his gum, right? It's his gum.
That's his gum. Oh, what a sad segment that was. It was a little heartbreaking because I feel, so much pain over having to abandon my boy Cameron Brate.
You'll have to find a new love.
I'll have to find a new love. But with every Neutrogena no-no of the week comes a Monster Game of the Week sponsored by Monster Ultra. Monster Ultra, 0 sugar, 0 calories, ultra flavor. Let's crack this baby open.
Oh, yeah, I'll crack mine open too. Gin.
And this week's Monster Game of the Week, sponsored by Monster Ultra, as voted by you, the fans, is the man that single-handedly allowed me to beat Brutal Moose. The Killer Bee, Antonio Brown, 10 catches, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Like, they're going to throw him the ball, and he catches fucking 3 touchdowns. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. That's crazy.
He was just all over the place. And that one catch he had against the helmet was spectacular.
Yeah, unbelievable.
He had in a career that is filled with unbelievable games, Antonio Brown still finds ways to impress.
It's amazing. That guy should be like quadruple covered every play. It wouldn't matter though. He would still catch.
He would still catch them. He's just so fast, and he has that cool Tetris edge up.
Yeah, the Tetris.
I don't know if he still has it, but he did have it for a little bit.
I always thought that was from the helmet. Like the helmet did that. It made the hair.
No, he did that when he was. That's how he looked.
Oh, okay.
When he was just hanging out. But Antonio Brown, your Monster Game of the Week, sponsored by Monster Ultra. Thank you all for voting. It was a huge favorite for Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
With something like 50% of the vote at the end of the day.
I voted for him. So
yeah. I actually didn't because I figured he was going to win. So I spread the love around. I voted for Drew Brees.
I didn't want to vote for Drew Brees because I don't like Drew Brees.
What? But Drew Brees is a New Orleans hero. He single-handedly saved that city from Katrina.
He threw a ball into the eye of the hurricane 4 years ago.
It's true.
And then they won the Super Bowl. It time warped the ball and he caught it. Yeah. I think that's probably why I don't like him.
Oh, but alas.
Oh, no.
There must always be a boner roster move of the week, sponsored by Fleshlight. Fleshlight, when you've got a boner, we've got somewhere to stick it.
Yeah. In a fleshlight.
In a fleshlight. I'm just thinking about fleshlights. Thinking about fleshlights. But this week's boner roster of the week, sponsored by Fleshlight. Golden Tate.
Yeah.
Golden Tate, after numerous consecutive weeks of fantastic games, just 3 catches for 32 yards.
Not great.
There were other couple guys out there that threw up some big stinkers. I almost put Zach Ertz in the mix.
Yeah, you could put a couple of people on there.
But, the reason I didn't go with Zach Ertz is because most teams, you have one tight end and, that's it. So you're kind of, stuck with that. Whereas wide receivers, you have a couple guys to pick from.
Right.
I figured if you picked Golden Tate, you really made a boner roster move. But, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive weeks with at least 6 receptions and at least 86 yards.
It's weird.
And then just drops 3 for 32 on your ass.
Well, Marvin Jones had a good game, right?
I believe so. Yes, Marvin Jones.
That might be some of the reason, but Golden Tate, when you watch him play, I think I talked about it last week. He's great. He's so fast and I don't know. He's the type of guy when he catches the ball, you just expect him to just run for at least 10 more yards and shit. Which there aren't too many of those in the league. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't feel like playing. Who did they play?
Last week they played Chicago, right?
Oh, right. And it was close. And they almost tied at the end.
Chi-Town hustle.
Oh my God, Chicago.
So those are our Wendy's waiver wire snags you want, the Neutrogena no-nos of the week, the Monster Game of the Week sponsored by Monster Ultra, and the boner roster move of the week sponsored by Fleshlight. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you for voting for these guys. Well, one of them. And now it's time to dial up our good friend Ian Brutal Moose YouTube. Get him on the call here.
Ian Brutal Moose YouTube.
I believe that's his full name. That's the name the Lord gave him.
The name the Lord gave him. Where is he? What's he doing?
He's coming. I dialed him in.
Come on.
We'll see when he joins up.
There he is. He's his little no.
No? Yes, no?
Not yet.
But Brutal Moose joins us courtesy of the Netflix Google Hangout. Subscribe to Netflix now and enjoy such shows as Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, and Godless, the new Western starring Jeff Daniels.
If you want to watch an old Western, you can watch Longmire.
I knew it.
Netflix.
I saw they added new episodes to Longmire, and I was
the
like,
last season.
Is Josh actually going to show up for the podcast tonight, or is he going to be too busy jerking it to Longmire?
I watched it all already. I'm done.
I thought the season was only on Netflix. Where is it at?
It's on Netflix. I watched it.
Oh, you watched the whole season already?
Yeah. I got like 6 hours to kill. No, I watched it on Sunday when the Eagles weren't on.
I see.
And I didn't go visit my grandma, so sorry, Grandma. Longmire's on. Can't go visit you. Hey, there's somebody.
Oh,
there
my
God.
Is.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Welcome to the show. The commissioner himself. Let me break this down for you. We have on the show right now Ian, a.k.a. Great Lord Commissioner, sir. A guy on the internet. He has 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 slowly deteriorating fantasy football teams. Watch him talk about none of those things at youtube.com/Brutal Moose.
Nice.
Hey, I bet someone really lame wrote that.
Oh, that's some good ad copy, my friend.
That's super good.
That's some good ad copy. That's much better than the stuff we get from Fleshlight.
I don't know. That one was pretty good.
The boner roster move of the week.
You guys get a lot of sponsors.
We're super
impressed.
we have so many sponsors. We add new ones every week.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It is exciting. It's a great time to be on the internet right now.
For 2 more weeks?
For, as long as we can. You got to cash in and cash out, man. You know what that's like.
Yeah, I do. Man, I'm excited to be here to prove that you don't need to know anything about football to do well in a league, to do better than Josh.
Hey!
Oh, the claws are out, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true. I tried so hard and I don't get anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't try that hard at all, and I do way better than you. It's great.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
The sickest of burns.
Well, I'll see you guys next year. I'm going to go watch Longmire.
So Ian, how are you, my friend? It's been a long time.
I'm doing all right. I got sent all these great football things to look up today, and I didn't look up any of them. I've been watching you guys talk, and I was following you with the fast food stuff. Anytime you talked about football, I was like, I think I know these people.
You have them on your team.
Which ones?
Oh, guys, you have.
I look more at like start percentages and projections. That's usually how I make my decisions.
Oh, I see. You're
moneyballing it over.
Yeah, he's moneyball. He's working that gimmick. That's a good way though. That's not something I consider solely. I mean, I look at that.
Right.
I haven't even gotten to catch a game this year, so
oh my god,
I've pretty much just been flying on the numbers.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. All I have to do is watch football. So
Dude, that sounds fun.
You'd think so. Sometimes it's not though, because football is not always good to watch.
No, sometimes it makes you mad.
I heard not good things about the Seahawks. Are they not doing well?
No. I mean, they're like not terrible, but they're just. If I was a Seahawks fan, I would seriously consider not watching football for a couple of weeks. I would just be like,
that's good for me.
Yeah,
That sounds like that's why I haven't been watching. That's why.
That's there it is.
But with Thanksgiving upon us, I mean the annual ritual of watching football on Thanksgiving, might you be able to catch a game this week?
Maybe I could try.
What are you doing
try to
for
catch
Thanksgiving?
I'm probably gonna work.
Ian.
I'm making some steaks.
That sounds better than turkey.
Thanksgiving steak. Oh yeah, I hate turkey. Turkey's like bad chicken. So
Get off my show.
Bad chicken.
That's like bad chicken.
Uninvited.
Stuffing is better than turkey. I mean, I always went for the ham.
Okay.
I went more specifically for the rolls. As many rolls as my parents would let me consume, I would just eat the rolls.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, bread makes you fat, so turkey is good.
Well, I could use it.
Yeah, look at this guy. Jesus.
Yeah.
He works.
Maybe I'm just gonna munch on some rolls. Watch football, munch on some rolls. That'll be Thanksgiving.
That sounds wonderful, actually.
That does sound wonderful.
It does sound. Maybe I will do that. Now that I say it out loud, that sounds like a good idea.
Why am I having dinner tomorrow? I should just eat some rolls.
Yeah, rolls are dinner, right?
Anything can be dinner. I'm having gin for dinner tonight.
There you go.
Happy birthday, Thanksgiving, Jesus.
Josh usually waits to have dinner until the show, and then it's usually a stiff drink.
Mm-hmm.
And
then it's got to be a pretty great show then.
Some people say it's the clientele that watches. Other people say Josh really can't stand his co-host.
Yeah, it's a little column A, a little column B.
But we have you here, and we figured we would let you partake in our listener question section, and not just the listener questions, but the listener emails as well.
Those are better usually.
Yes. And our listener emails are delivered fresh by Kevin Storer Distribution, servicing the greater Harrisonburg, Bridgewater, and Mount Crawford, Virginia areas. Guys, I have to tell you, when I want tasty cakes and a nice turkey sandwich on some Nature's Own bread, I call up my buddy Kevin Storer at Kevin Storer Distribution, and I ask him for some candy cakes and some of that nice honey wheat.
Honey wheat. And you get that honey wheat, you get them leftovers on there, and you put some gravy on it, hot or cold, it doesn't matter. You eat it.
You got to connect me with him. I still have not had a tasty cakes.
You're okay.
I still have some in a box here.
Yeah, I have a whole box of them.
Yeah, I'll send you some. We took all the great stuff.
Yeah,
there's still some
left?
good stuff, but not great stuff.
Yeah,
left.
like the pies.
Well, you don't want to start me off on the best stuff because then I got nowhere to go but down.
Dude, you haven't never had a butterscotch crimpets?
Is that a tasty cakes?
Dude.
Then no.
All right.
What about a peanut butter candy cake?
I mean, those both sound great.
Yeah, they are.
All right, we're gonna hook you up. We're gonna talk to
hook me up
Kevin
with some
Storer.
tasty cakes.
Hell yeah.
All right, our first question this week comes to us from our friend Andrew Jadzik.
Jadzy.
2 questions for us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a defensive NFL player, what would your celebration be when stopping a running back on first down after they got 8 yards and you were the add-on player as the running back was going down for the tackle? Maybe a Matumbo figure wag into a King Kong alternating hand chest thumping?
That's a good question.
Oh, man. What's it like to be the guy that gets the, 1/3 of a tackle? What kind of celebration do you have for 1/3 of a tackle?
You do 1/3 of a celebration.
Okay.
So you do either the hear no evil, see no evil, or speak no evil. You just do
Is that someone's celebration? Do they?
It could be.
It could be ours. I could be the see no evil.
Yeah. I'll be.
That would actually be kind of cool if 3 people broke that out at once.
You're allowed to now, so why not?
Yeah,
Wait,
just don't touch the goalpost.
Are you allowed to celebrate now?
Yeah, dude.
Not only are you allowed to celebrate, group celebrations are now a thing. So
when did that happen?
This year.
Well, I've been missing out. That was like my least favorite rule because it made no sense.
It's great, dude. It's awesome. Like there was a Duck Duck Goose celebration. There was a Kamehameha wave celebration.
Surely there's a supercut of all the celebrations
You probably
this year.
can find one, yeah.
There's a potato sack race celebration.
Yes.
Some guys played hide and seek one time.
That was good. Baseball.
I would just hide then. That would be my celebration. I would just bolt. Where is he going? I don't know. He's gonna go hide.
That's good. I do like that if the three of us were on a team, we could do the 7 deadly sins, but I'll do like 3 of them.
Yeah, gluttony, too many cupcakes, and that's gluttony.
How much time do you think each team is now dedicating to planning out group celebrations? Is that part of practice now?
Well, I mean, how much time would you spend on a great handshake with a friend?
I mean, if it was my team, we would spend at least half on the celebration because that's the most important part. Yeah, half the practice.
I like how cocky you are. I think that indicates a winner.
Well, I don't know that we're gonna get to use. We probably practice one because we probably get to use it once. But it would be so great. It'd be worth it.
It'd be elaborate.
All the fans would be like, "Man, they totally threw away the entire season." But what a great celebration they had that one time.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, especially if I was like a guy that got called up from like the practice squad.
Yeah.
I would have like the ultimate celebration just in case I got like 1 catch in the NFL and never played again.
Right. You got to make the most of your time. That's what they say.
That is what they say.
You know, them.
All right, Andrew's second question. I actually saw 2 NFL games on Sunday, which is not typical. Packers and half of their team out with injuries looked awful, especially the offense. Later, I checked in and watched the second half of the Eagles versus Cowboys game.
Good game. Good second half.
What was the Cowboys' excuse for being that bad? Feel free to pile on Dallas and their mum-ra of an owner.
Mum-ra. Mum-ra.
Dallas losing is like my #1 football dream. Like, I'm a Seahawks fan, but if it was, if it was up there between like Super Bowl or like Dallas getting humiliated somehow, I would probably go with Dallas. I really just want the Cowboys to lose.
You would fit in well here, Ian.
Yeah? Okay.
That's the #1 thing in Philadelphia that anyone ever cares about. Like, the Eagles could be like 3-13, but if Dallas loses, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, or if 1 or 2 of those wins that we happen to get on that season at least beat Dallas and the Giants.
That's fine.
Don't like the Giants either?
No, fuck the Giants.
Yeah, fuck the Giants. Fuck that stupid Eli Manning looking motherfucker.
He does look a lot like Eli Manning now that you mention it.
All right, next up we have a question from our boy Curtis Janwich.
Janwich Sandwich.
Who prefaces this, unfortunately. Never preface a question with, this may or may not be a stupid question. Go with it. You have it in your gut. You deliver it. Here it is. First, I would like to say I love the show and have watched continue for 5 years.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
I was thinking this past week how much of a tight-knit community we have on this show because of the relatively small fan base. Oh, you don't have to gussy us up with relatively.
Yeah,
it's a small fan base.
Nobody cares about us.
I was thinking how much fun it would be to join a fantasy league with you guys, and I was wondering, would you ever consider creating a league for next season, including us and a few fans of the show? Weird follow-up, does me being a Giants fan make you guys hate me, even though I think you guys are dope? First, let me address the second question. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So never write to us again.
Probably not be a Giants fan. Just don't be that. It's okay. It's not your fault. Maybe you live in New York, and maybe you have 3 football teams to pick from, and 2 of them are okay, and 1 of them's not okay, and you pick the not okay one. It's just the odds. But now you can switch.
It's not too late to turn your back on Eli Manning.
Yeah, he's done anyway.
I don't have strong feelings about the Giants either way. Like,
oh my God, Ian.
I hope they beat the Cowboys.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
And as to your first question, this is something Josh and I have talked about. Not necessarily doing a league, which would be a major challenge with, even just how many of you join us in the chat every night and submit questions to us. That's still a little too many people for a straight up league. But if we could find a way to involve all of you in the personal picks like Josh and I do, where we
Right.
collect everybody's picks, and then we would just go on that. And then we don't have to have a site. We could just do it together. We may look into doing that in the future. If by chance our plans change and Josh and I have a show that becomes so successful that we're able to launch something like a Patreon, which we're not doing right now, so don't worry about that. There may be a tier of submission to get you into a fantasy league with us and maybe some other YouTube stars, perhaps.
Maybe even Mike Sadorf.
Whoa, you got Mike?
Does anybody truly have? I mean, Mike is one of the freest spirits.
Yeah, he's like a dragon. You can't have him. He's like a phoenix.
Is Mike actually playing in our league, or is he not playing?
He's
not doing well. I know he's in it, but it's hard to tell.
He definitely got angry. Yeah,
or are just really bad,
Well, there was a couple weeks in a row where I think he started a few guys on buys, so I think that gives you all the information you need.
Yeah,
that shows how much I'm paying attention to the leagues that I'm commissioning.
You just look and see if you got that Rosie W.
That's pretty much what I do.
All right, that's the email from you. That means we have one more listener question to get to today from our friend Heck You Paul Grasso.
Heck you, Paul.
Hey there, buds. Heck You Paul here. I come to you with a tale of great heights and crushing sorrow. Oh, nice. A personal story about a fantasy football performance. These are my favorite emails. After starting my season off with 3 brutal losses, I managed to work my way up to first place in my division and a comfy spot in the playoffs. Unfortunately, since then, I have suffered some truly heart-wrenching losses. 2 weeks ago, I played Devonta Freeman, who was injured early on in his game, and this past week, I played Jake Elliott as my kicker. We all know what happened there.
I did too.
The Eagles kicker concussed himself on a tackle, Ian, and attempted a field goal after that and missed it by about 80 yards.
The other direction.
Yeah.
That's sad, but I'm laughing.
As you can see, the fantasy gods are truly displeased with me for some reason. What is the best way I can appease them to get my team back on track and into the playoffs once again? All right, he has a second part of this question, but let's talk about the first one. What are some things that you guys have done to appease the fantasy gods?
I've tried to throw myself into a volcano.
Did you miss by 80 yards?
Yeah, I concussed myself and I jumped the other way.
I don't look the only real fantasy thing that I do is I don't like to look at my score when things are live, because if I'm doing well, I always feel like I start doing worse.
Oh, really?
When I'm watching my score, so I stop looking. I put it away.
That's very superstitious.
Huh.
I mean, yeah. I'm doing all right though.
No, you're doing great. Maybe I should not pay attention.
Yeah, maybe you should just pay less attention.
Shit. I've been doing this all wrong.
Man, I don't know. I mean, the only this kind of harkens back to, what was it, last week or the week before, where we talked about what to do if your season is like really shitty. So I try to change my mojo by changing everything about my team.
Yeah, just pick up players who you're like, maybe this guy will have a good week, and try it out, right? That's usually what I do. I just
go a little crazy with it, have a little fun. I mean, it's a little different when you're like in playoff contention, but come up with a gimmick every week to kind of, what was the last thing that worked when you won,
right? And
that, rename your team around that, or sacrifice a player to the cut list as if you're sacrificing him to the football gods.
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect.
Good players. That's okay.
You should drop them, but tell me when you're going to drop them, and then
I will. I'll be sure to let you guys know. I'm sacrificing a player now.
And just make sure that Josh is the right number on the waiver wire.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Also, this is the second half of his question here. What are your thoughts on Jordan Howard this week? Should I play him over Orleans Darkwa? This only applies if Devonta Freeman sits again this week, and it's looking like he's going to. Also, if I should play Darkwa over Howard, should I flex in Howard over DeAndre? Whoa, man, now we're...
Whoa, slow it on down.
Variables. All right. Should I flex in Howard over DeAndre Hopkins? Hoppy is playing against Baltimore this week, and I don't like the look of it. Thanks in advance, my fantasy gurus and my fantasy gods. Oh, and may the fantasy gods smile upon you as we grow ever closer to the playoffs. Sincerely, heck you, Paul.
One day I'll know what it's like to be in the playoffs. Playoffs? Who are the Bears playing? The Eagles? No, do not play him.
Yeah.
Do not play Jordan Howard.
Don't play Jordan Howard. I have no problem playing the New York Football Giants Orleans Darkwa against the Washington football team this week. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is basically the only player on the Texans with any value.
Yeah.
So even though his matchup against Baltimore may not look tasty, it's definitely better than Howard versus the Eagles.
Yeah, he has a very high probability of being buried and never coming back to life ever again. He's not been playing all that great anyway. Like, I don't know. He's on the Bears, so you know
he's on the Bears.
You have that.
Now I didn't recognize like any of those names. I think Devonta Freeman is a running back.
Yes,
on a football team.
Yes,
for some. Okay,
on a professional football team.
Was the question to play him? I know that if
her.
Oh, I was gonna say I know that if I. I thought you said her. I was like, I don't know.
How long
play him anyway?
Play her anyway.
How long has it been since you watched football? They started letting women play.
I mean, the celebrations are back. Anything could happen. I don't know.
I'm not
usually if I recognize someone's name, I usually think that they're good because I'm like, oh, I've heard of that person before. Yeah. I don't know who the rest of those people you listed up were.
That's a good strategy.
Oh, it doesn't surprise anyone that you haven't heard of Orleans Darkwa. That's like a super deep cut. You really got to be like in the deep end of fantasy football waiver wire pickups to.
I am not.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to be because your team is winning.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Except when you
get richer.
It's so frustrating. Like, I don't mind losing. What I mind is getting second in the league and losing. It's like, wow, if I had played anyone else.
Yeah, man.
9-2.
You guys were slugging it out. You were like the giants in the Hobbit, the rock monsters, just punching each other.
Lord of the Rings, right?
Rock Eater?
No, yeah, the Hobbit, the new movies where the mountains come alive. Look, if I have to explain it, it's not worth me saying it.
Yeah, read the room, Josh.
Anybody here watch The Hobbit? No? Okay.
All right, and those are all our listener emails brought to you, delivered fresh by Kevin Store Distribution. Thank you, everybody, for emailing us this week. Really enjoyed that. With this week being Thanksgiving, if you feel like emailing us next week about stories watching the games tomorrow with your family and friends while being frustrated about your fantasy performance, do email us. We love hearing about how your teams are doing. Remember, we care about your fantasy football team.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. So now we're looking at the Twitters. And we got a couple good Twitters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our boy KJ Sandwich _15, a.k.a. Curtis Janwich, who wants to know, should I start Phillip Rivers or Cameron Newton this weekend?
Oh, man.
I know those people. I say Newton. I've got a thing with Rivers. I drafted him one of the first years I played, and everyone was like, oh my God, I didn't know who he was. Oh my God, he's such a good quarterback. And he threw like 1 billion interceptions that year. So never again, like never again.
This is good advice. I'm serious. I would also go with Cam Newton because Phillip Rivers is playing the Cowboys, and who knows what they're going to do. They're weird.
It is weird. They're traveling to Dallas on the short week, which is tough. But Phillip Rivers has been playing pretty good.
I know, but I just like that Ian hates him.
I don't necessarily hate him. I just
I
don't
heard the hate in your
him.
voice.
Okay, yeah, I hate him. Yeah. Get out of here, Rivers.
You were like,
You blew it that year with all those interceptions. You blew it.
You let him down. Look, anything Ian says, I would do because he's fucking wins all the time.
All right, you know what? I'm in. That sold me. No, that sold me. Yeah, I mean Cam Newton, you got to play him this week. They're at the Jets.
Right.
He was at bye last week, but the week before against Miami, he threw for 4 touchdowns and rushed for almost 100 yards.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers, Ian said it.
No, he said don't pick Phillip Rivers.
Oh, don't pick him.
Yeah, don't pick Rivers.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Said
that's
no
right.
on Rivers.
That's right.
So there's your answer.
Throw Rivers in the river. Just get rid of him.
Throw him in the LA River.
Get rivers of him.
I'm not even drinking gin. I'm just.
I am. That might be
Bad
why I'm
puns.
slightly confused right now. Whoops.
All right, so here's a good one from Andrew Jadzik, at Jads of All Trades. This morning there was a dead mouse on the sidewalk in front of my house.
Okay.
Could this be a warning for dissing Jerry Jones? Or am I confusing the powers of Jerry Jones with the ghost of Xmas Past from Scrooged?
This is all connected.
Are you sure that wasn't Jerry Jones just hanging out outside of your house?
I mean, I've never not seen Jerry Jones and a dead mouse in the same room. So
It's like, is this supposed to be like some sort of like horse head theory? Like he's like Jerry Jones's guys like drop this mouse at his front
No,
door.
I thought maybe the dead mouse might have been Jerry
Was
Jones.
him?
And I've never seen him in person, so.
He looks terrible. He's old.
he is old. I'm telling you, man, he looks like the dude at the end of Last Crusade.
He does. He even has that Nazi pin,
He does.
Oh.
which is weird. Where did he get that Nazi pin from?
Trump?
There it is.
I don't know.
Probably from Chris Christie.
Chris Christie. God, that was nothing made me so happy than to see Chris Christie just sitting there in a Notre Dame sweatshirt.
Oh my God.
In a Dallas Cowboys booth with Jerry Jones, and he probably had on like Yankees boxers.
Yeah, and Lakers socks.
And was had all the Bruce Springsteen on his iPod, even though Bruce Springsteen straight up hates him.
Jesus God.
I don't know if that answered your question or not, Jads of All Trades, but
Yeah.
there you have it. But there was a second part and to that question, which we'll address at the end of listener questions, because I think that's going to be a good conversation.
Okay.
So Bernale 7 hits us up with Samaj Perine or Mr. Eckler on the Los Angeles Chargers in a PPR league. You know my feelings about Mr. Perine.
Yeah.
I never know how to pronounce this guy's fucking name.
I always say Pirine.
Pirine.
That's how I say it, because that's how they say it on the TV machine. But I don't know how he says it. Maybe it's like even weirder than that. Who knows?
But yeah, I'm all in on Pirine.
Yeah, Eckler is Gordon is still on the team, right?
Yeah.
But there's been like a little bit of a competition going on, right? Like
somewhat.
Yeah, I would still go Pirine because he's literally the only guy on the Washington team. So
yeah, and even though like New York's defense played slightly better,
yeah,
these last few weeks, I just like the Washington offense against them.
Yeah, I heard it was windy last week. That's why they didn't score. Somebody on Twitter told me it was windy, so
it was windy.
I got corrected. It's windy, Josh. Let them play.
I don't know those guys. So I would do the opposite of what Josh said.
What?
Whoa. Oh, man. He
Oh
wants to go
my
with
God.
Eckler. All right.
go-
It's not a
watch
bad
this.
choice.
Watch this guy run off like
Are
4
they,
touchdowns.
what position do they play?
Running back.
Okay. Running back.
All right. I mean, that doesn't help me at all. I was just curious.
We got a new one here from @friendly1kenobi.
That's a great name.
He wants to know, is Will Fuller still valuable, or is he a waste of my roster space?
That's a great question.
Right now, I think he's a waste of your roster space.
Yeah, I picked him up in my other league, but my other league is like I don't have any like receivers really, so I don't know. Like, let's see like who else I have. Let me just look in my players and wide receivers here.
All right. While you're looking at that, here's what I'm going to hit you up with some stats.
Okay.
He's only played 6 games this season. He was hurt a little bit. He's actually hurt again now.
Damn.
In 4 games with Deshaun Watson, 13 catches, 279 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of touchdowns.
In 2 games with Tom Savage,
4
catches for 47 yards.
That's not as good.
Like, Tom Savage literally only knows to throw the football to DeAndre Hopkins. That's it.
That's how you sell tickets, Luke.
I've heard of that guy, so that's who I would throw the football to.
That's smart. It's a smart play. Yeah. It is.
I guess if I was on a team, hopefully I would know everybody, but you
probably would have been introduced to them.
Probably.
And like maybe
somewhere during our rehearsal of our celebration dance.
Yes. Half of the practice is celebrating touchdowns, so you probably would have met them. I don't know, man. I don't know who to get though in my league. In my other league, there's Jermaine Kearse, Marquise Goodwin, Travis Benjamin, Alan Hearns, Amendola. That's about it.
Wow, that is some shitty roster.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
And who do you already have?
I have. Let me go back to my team. I have Mohamed Sanu, Amari Cooper, Aguilar. I picked up Corey Davis, Des Bryant, and Will Fuller.
All right, so you got some. Yeah, you got guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, this guy really hates his own roster.
I lost in that league. I was on a 7-game winning streak and I lost. So I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Everyone must go. Someone will pay for my loss.
Oh, okay. All right. Our boy Geeky by nature, the Jacksonville Jaguar fan who loves us the most, wants to know, what would we do if the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Get arrested, probably. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I know what I would do. I would drunkenly waddle to bed and I would climb under the covers and just disappear like Yoda in Return of the Jedi. That's exactly what I would do. Because that would be it. It would kill me. The Eagles winning would kill me.
I heard that today on the radio that if the Eagles have a Super Bowl victory and a parade, Bud Light is going to be serving
pay for everybody's beer.
Free Bud Light.
Yeah. That's insane.
What are the odds this year? Are they close?
Oh, you know what? Let me look at the Vegas odds.
They're 9-1.
Let me look at the Vegas odds. But I can tell you right now, if there is free beer, even if it's, I will drink free Bud Light.
I'll drink free Bud Light in Philadelphia.
But if there is free beer, I'll tell you right now, I am glad my home is 40 minutes out of the city.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't live in the city because there's not going to be a city. Dude, they're going to have to grease up the poles like they did for the Phillies or whatever they did in like 80. They had to put grease on the poles because people were fucking climbing up them and shit.
So the Eagles opened the season at 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl, which that was fair for what we expected of this team. Guess what their odds are now?
5-1?
4-1.
4-1.
They are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. The only team that comes even close is the 7-2 Pittsburgh Steelers.
For every $2 you bet, you get $7, right?
Correct. That's the way that works.
That's the way it works.
That's better than I was expecting. I don't know why I was expecting them to not. I think it's because I saw someone preemptively getting tattoos again, Super Bowl tattoos. And so whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, their odds have to be terrible, right?
That one was hilarious, though, because it was 3 Super Bowls in a row. It was like 2017 to 2019 or something like that.
Yeah, but what if it happens, though?
That would be crazy.
He's going to have to get like more because he's going to be able to make the Super Bowl happen.
He's like like a superhero who like when he tattoo like from what's that show? Fucking what's that show
Blind
that was
Spot?
on? Was it that one?
Where the
Wasn't
girl
there
has
one-
all the tattoos all over her?
Is that it? No, Heroes. When he would draw, he was a heroin addict, and he would draw the things.
I was thinking of the octopus that was picking all the teams.
Oh, the octopus that picks the FIFA winners?
Yeah, it was the World Cup winners.
World
yeah.
Cup.
Sports are weird.
Yeah.
All right, we got a new question here from a new follower at Hank Toms.
I bet that's Tom Hanks. I bet you it is.
That's his ghost Twitter name.
Yeah.
Clever.
Not fooling anyone, Tom Hanks.
He wants to know Orleans Darkwa at Washington or Alfred Morris versus the Chargers. I'm going Morris versus the Chargers. Morris looked really good against the Eagles last week.
Yeah, there were some big holes too. I would not do anything positive Giants, not because I don't like them, but they're so bad. And Washington is like pretty good still.
Surprisingly pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like they keep pulling out those weird wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I would also.
I've
go
heard of
Morris.
Morris, so I vote for him too. So
There you go.
There it is. That the Brutal Moose seal of approval. I've heard of him.
heard of that guy.
Play him.
Gotta play him.
I'm serious. Listen to what he says. He's winning. He wins all the
It's true.
time.
He wins leagues except when he plays me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I've only won the league. I've only won a league once. I usually do.
Oh, I've only won one.
And then right about now is when things just start going not so well.
Man,
It's all right. It happens to everybody.
against Luke.
No, my other league I'm doing so terribly. I try so much harder in this league because I won it last year.
Oh, you gotta defend your crown.
I try, right?
Try.
Like, I just fucking put players in there and hope that they play well in real life.
You're good at it though. The two of you guys are good at it.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Finally, we have a question from at MelGray8.
Oh, jeez.
Mel. Mel, if you haven't been paying attention to the show prior to this episode, Ian is our most belligerent user.
Oh, fun.
But on purpose, you know,
Yeah.
like sports radio, you have the one guy that calls all the time and is like an asshole, but you still let him call in.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I listen to a bunch of sports radio. That's why I know so much football stuff.
There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why everything is sponsored on this show, because we learned our lesson from
Yeah.
sports radio.
From Sports Talk Radio.
All right. Devin Funchess versus the New York Football Jets, or Tengen versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Funchess
Funchess.
against the
I
Jets.
also say Funchess.
Yeah. He's been doing real good lately, especially since other guy got shipped up to the Great White Buffalo North.
Yes,
Got traded. Funchess is like the number one guy there now.
it's true. And the LA Rams defense is too good to start anybody.
Yeah. I think they might win. I feel like the Rams might win.
Oh, I hope they beat New Orleans.
I do too. I need them to shut up. I don't want to hear any more about New Orleans. I'm done.
So there you go, Mel. There's your answer. And even Brutal Moose agrees.
Devin Funchess.
Devin
I know
Funchess.
that guy.
Brunale7 comes at us with another question here, which isn't really anything we can truly answer.
Yeah.
Why did I drop Marvin Jones and start Travis Benjamin?
I don't know, Branali.
I don't know. I mean, why does the sun shine? How does a rainbow work?
The water in the air makes the
Just
light.
write it off as a sacrifice to the fantasy
Yes!
football gods. Apparently, that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Trying to
Referencing
shake things up.
references to the show.
That's all I can do since I don't know the people.
Mel, you're dangerously close to getting the sidecast suspension of the week.
Oh no! Already?
Dangerously close.
Oh man!
Why does Luke suck is not a proper question for this format.
That's more a continue cast question.
Yeah, that's for the continue show. Rude. All right, and Jads of all trades, second question, which I thought would be good for us both here. What is your favorite traditionally themed Christmas movie?
What does that mean? What's traditionally themed?
So it can be
So
modern,
like,
as long
so
as
like
it's
not
traditionally
Die
themed.
Hard,
what?
Oh,
Why
gotcha.
can't it be Die Hard?
because that's not a traditionally themed Christmas movie.
It's
It's
not
a
even a
movie that takes
regular
place
Christmas movie.
at Christmas, right? Like it's just. I'm,
So
I'm
it has
thinking,
to be, the central plot has to revolve around Christmas.
right?
Oh God, I was gonna say Trading Places, but that doesn't count apparently.
That's right.
Christmas Vacation is a big favorite of mine.
Yes.
We always used to watch it around this time around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I also like A Christmas Story.
Yes. Agreed.
What do you guys think about A Christmas Story live airing on Fox this week?
I think
Or-
that they're
Next,
desperate for stuff to put on air. Why
I
would
saw
anyone...
one trailer for that, and I was just like, why?
Yeah, why would you do this?
because everybody's doing those live plays now. Oh, and by the way, our suspension of the week, brought to you by the Sidecast podcast. Mel, you've been suspended, which is not all that ironic. I think you do it just to get your own podcast, the sponsorships.
It's pretty smart.
It is smart. This week's suspension of Mel brought to you by the Sidecast, a podcast that you can find anywhere podcasts are found.
On the internet for another 2 weeks. Is Jungle to Jungle a Christmas movie?
No, you're thinking of the other one.
Santa Claus.
No, the other one.
It's not the Santa Claus. I hate the Santa Claus.
No, what's the one with Arnold? That's not Jingle to Jungle.
Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's all right with Sinbad and Arnold.
Sinbad and Arnold.
That one's good.
No, I'm a Scrooged guy.
Scrooge is great.
Scrooge
Christmas
is.
Story though is probably the best.
I like
Christmas
Christmas
Story is
Story,
just a classic.
Yeah,
but like, I think in recent years when like TNT started doing its like 48-hour marathon,
yeah.
I feel like 5 channels do that or something. They're all marathoning A Christmas Story.
it's
Yeah, it
just
sucks.
television is just that movie for that day. That's all they show.
it's
What
like,
about?
God,
Do you guys like parades? Like, do you get up and watch parades?
not once ever.
No.
I never have either. Like some
I
people's
feel like
parents really
especially
like them.
now you could get like if something was good you could get like a highlight later on like
Right?
someone tweets something important. I don't need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Plus it's
I don't-
always cutaways. It's always like, hey, here comes something cool and here's our anchors talking for
Yeah.
however long.
Like
Yeah.
I had to, Josh, I'm sure you had to be in them too when you were in high school band.
Yeah,
like you had to go to like the local parade, but like
Yeah.
I never understood people who showed up to watch them in person.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you want to be there?
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold, it's
It's boring.
early, and all you do is see balloons being dragged across the street.
Yeah.
It just seems outdated. Like maybe 100, 200 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do but stand out and look at a balloon?
True. A balloon was like high tech back then.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, how did they craft a balloon? I don't
How
understand.
did they fill that with air? How did
Yeah,
they?
how do you get all the air in there?
Yeah, but not now.
and the world is also, I heard on a different podcast that the world is running out of helium.
Yeah, we talked about that on another show that maybe we were on.
You know what I'll say though? If they were to do like a VR thing, because I've got a
Yeah.
Vive, if they were to say, hey, put your Vive on and you can stand in the parade, like stand and like look
Oh,
at stuff
yeah.
to scale, I would give that a shot, but it would mostly be for the VR than the parade, than the actual balloons.
What are
That
the
would be
rules?
cool.
What are the
You
rules?
said
of-
vibe. I thought you said put your vibe on, and I was like, I think this is a different kind of parade.
This is well.
I mean,
I-
I'm not saying I wouldn't.
That
but-
sounds like a better parade.
Put your Vive on, put your
Yeah.
Vibe on.
What about like drones? Can you fly drones around with the VR thing at a parade? That's what I would do.
That would be awesome.
That sounds better. I wouldn't stand there though. Just be a dork about it. I'd fly a drone around.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents.
Basically, we're saying that parades need to like up their game.
They
To
need
get
to get
us
in the
interested. We
21st
need another
century.
step up.
Yeah. It's
But
time parades.
They've added new balloons. This year they have a new Charlie Brown.
I don't give a shit.
You know, the Sonic the Hedgehog is gonna be there.
Oh, is Sonic one?
I think. I couldn't even tell.
I would look at a Twitter picture of a Sonic balloon.
I would too.
Yeah, parades are stupid.
Or a GIF. Just make a bunch of GIFs of the parade.
You know what I definitely would never do? I definitely never go to the Mummers Parade.
No, that's the saddest word. That's like a drunk guy parade. Like,
what is that?
Oh my God. You want to explain it to him?
It's the New Year's Day parade in Philadelphia. They have local groups who are somewhat musicianish, do these ridiculous like costumes.
It's like Mardi Gras-esque.
It's Mardi Gras-esque, but not as cool.
No boobies or beads.
It's sad. It's a sad parade.
I always thought it was.
I feel like that would be more entertaining than a.
It's bad.
I think I would rather watch a sad parade than a good parade.
No, all their instruments are all out of tune because it's like.
That sounds awesome.
It's like Philadelphia in January, so it's like -5, and everyone's just like.
I guess I would think there's more chance for surprises there when you know what you're gonna get on a Macy's.
That's true.
But who knows what you're gonna get in the sad parade?
Who
knows how sad it's gonna be this year?
Someone might get like stabbed with a switchblade.
Exciting.
I'd watch that parade.
All right. Well, you could probably see a video of that on YouTube later.
Yeah, they'll probably make a balloon out of it in the next year to memorialize the.
It's just a guy who's like.
All right.
It's like I got work to do.
All right.
Wait. All right. This took a turn.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, and those were our listener questions for the week. Thank you, everybody, for tweeting at us and emailing us. As always, we appreciate all the time you take to watch the show, participate in the show, and trust us with the fate of your fantasy teams.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to us.
It's a very solemn duty we have here.
And that, of course, means that now that listener questions are over, it's time for our Pizza Hut personal pan predictions of the week for Week 12's biggest fantasy stud.
Oh boy, did I do so good last week.
So what we do, Ian, is every week Josh and I pick 4 players, a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. And then we pit them against each other to see which of us picked the best 4 players for the week. Last week, Josh picked Alex Smith, Le'Veon Bell, Nelson Aguilar, and Jared Cook. Alex Smith did 230 yards and 2 picks, 5 carries for 27 yards, for a total of 7.9 points.
That's a lot.
Le'Veon Bell, 12 carries, 46 yards, 9 catches for 57.
That's a lot, actually.
19.3 points. The highest scoring player on your team.
Yes.
Nelson Aguilar, biggest week of the week. 1 catch for -2 yards.
Fuck yes. 8.8 points.
0.8 points. And Jared Cook with 2 catches for 36 yards, 5.6 points. A grand total of 33.6 points.
That's the worst week I've ever had.
I, of course, went all in on the Eagles. Carson Wentz, Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints, because you can't trust the Eagles running game.
True.
Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Ertz. Carson Wentz, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns for 20 points. It was looking scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking real scary.
It looked like he got concussed or something, and he didn't know what he was doing. That's what it looked like.
He's North Dakota tough.
Hung in there.
Alvin Kamara, 8 carries for 42 yards, 6 catches for 74 and a touchdown, 25.6 points.
That catch was awesome, too.
It was. That was really great. Just like perfectly bounced
Yep. Bloop, bloop.
right into his hands. Really brilliant. Alshon Jeffrey, 4 catches, 67 yards and a touchdown for 18.7 points. And Zach Ertz barely outdid Nelson Aguilar. 2 catches for 8 yards for 2.8 points. A grand total of 67.1 points. At this point in the season, that puts me at 4-0.
Great.
And Josh at 0-4.
That's
I'm
so.
shocked.
Thank
I'm
you
shocked,
for
really.
Ian. This week brought to you by Gordon's Gin.
See, the good news is I think that this is giving you some advantage in our matchup this week. All the shit talking I'm doing, I think this actually gives you an advantage.
It won't matter. You're just gonna beat me. You're gonna beat me, and then I'm gonna have to just deal with that.
I mean, I like that attitude. I really do, but we'll see.
I'm a big fan of yours, Ian, so I want to see you succeed.
Wouldn't that be great if the two of us put back-to-back wins together, though? And then we could actually say, like, you could trust us because we've won fantasy football games.
Wow, don't put any pressure on me to, beat the best guy in our league or whatever.
He's not anymore.
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
It's that other guy that nobody knows.
Yeah, who is that?
Oh,
Which
Justin?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's Justin.
Who's Justin?
Oh my god, he's don't ask me that live. I don't remember how Justin. I think we were just like, hey, we need some. We kicked somebody out, didn't we?
Oh, is that Paul?
He's definitely somebody, but I don't know people by their first name.
That's fair though, because when it comes up against people, I know most of these guys are YouTube guys.
Yeah, he's a YouTube
I don't
person.
know. I don't know what this person does. I don't know how I would know their first name because that's not how the internet works in this era.
Usually, yeah.
Well, anyway, we won't keep you on the spot. I was just teasing. So Josh, who you got this week, buddy?
Oh man, well, it can't be worse than last week. So this week, I'm going with Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is going to have a better game than he did. He's going to put 2 complete halves together against the Bears.
Okay.
Carson Wentz. Running back, Todd Gurley is going to run all over the Saints. That Saints defense is overrated, man.
Ooh, overrated.
They're overrated, and he's gonna put a hundo on them. That's what I think. Wide receiver, I'm going with Julio Jones. Makes a triumphant comeback. He's not been getting a lot of balls, but they're playing the Buccaneers. So I'm going with Julio Jones. And tight end, Jimmy Graham.
Oh, Jimmy Graham.
The Seahawks are playing somebody bad, the Raiders.
Raiders. Well, there's 2 people you can count on in Seattle. 3 technically, if you want to count Mr. Dougie Baldwin.
Yeah,
but Jimmy Graham and Russell Wilson
is one of them. Yeah,
so that's not a bad pick. I'm going gimmicks this week. I'm feeling myself.
Oh God,
I'm 4-0, and I can afford to lose one this week.
Oh boy, yeah. Wow.
So I'm picking all players that are playing on Thanksgiving today. For quarterback, I'm going with the Wildcat. You like that, Kirk Cousins?
Oh, I hope you're right on that one.
That's a good pick, actually. That's a really good pick.
Cousins going. I got Kirk. I'm feeling it. Yeah, all right. Okay. Now, San Francisco is who they're playing this week, Josh. You got that wrong. I got to update live in the live chat. Seattle versus the 49ers.
The Niners.
All right. I'm also picking Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
Gordon's Bombay Chargers.
Do you have him in too? Do you have Melvin?
No, but I've heard of. Do I have him? I actually said no without actually knowing.
I don't think you do. Let me look. Somebody does.
On my other team, I don't have.
You don't.
No. I've heard of him though, so it's probably a good pick.
Wait, no, you do have him.
I do have him.
You have him right here.
He's my star player.
I love it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely on. He's definitely on my team.
He's on your team. He's
got 4 out of 5 stars.
He's had some pretty big games.
He has played really well this year, very quietly.
Quietly, yes.
Well, at least quietly on the East Coast.
Yeah, well, it's the Chargers, so who cares? Take that.
For wide receiver, Adam Thielen.
Oh, boy.
Adam Thielen, the great white hope. I got him. I feel like against that Detroit defense, I think he's going to do it. I wanted to pick Golden Tate. I did, strictly for the PPR, But Adam Thielen, Case Keenum, man, they have some kind of syncope.
I don't know, man. How that can't last forever, though. It's Case fucking Keenum.
Hey, nothing lasts forever, but you know what?
Diamonds.
Diamonds are forever.
That's not true. There's carbon. It'll go away.
Not before I die.
That's all I care about.
That's all I care about. Now here, the tough thing is tight end, because the tight ends playing on Thanksgiving are straight poop.
You got Hunter Henry and you got Witten.
But I think I have to go with a guy I used to love on the 49ers.
Vernon Davis.
Mr. Vernon Davis.
Nice. That's a pretty good pick. He gets catches.
He gets catches and he plays well. So those are the matchups for this week. We'll see if Josh can finally get a win.
Yeah,
he picked Carson Wentz, so I hope we do get a win.
That would be great.
It would be great. Another win. 10-1 heading into the final third quarter of the season.
Oh God, they have to win like the next 3 games.
How many more weeks are there?
We're in week 12, so there. If you count this week as in progress, there are 6 weeks following that.
Oh, that's a lot more than I would have thought. Actually,
we got games on Christmas Day this year.
Yeah, Christmas Day game. Oh my God, the Eagles and the Raiders.
I would hate to play football on Christmas Day.
No, you would be okay with it because you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, and I got that really cool celebration, I keep forgetting.
Well, if your Christmas is anything like your Thanksgiving, what else you got going on?
Nothing. Probably eating rolls and watching football, I guess.
It's like, come on, guys. I was going to eat rolls today.
Oh, man. Well, that's going to wrap us up for today. We've reached amazingly, we continue to make it a 90-minute show every week, which just blows my mind. It goes by so fast. It goes by so fast. But thank you, Mr. Ian Brutal Moose YouTube, for joining us.
That's my name. That's my name.
Ian Brutal Moose Muffin Man YouTube.
Yep, that's me. I'm the Muffin Man, the YouTube Brutal Moose Muffin Man.
You can catch his show on youtube.com/Brutal Moose and follow him on Twitter @Brutal Moose. Thanks for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us this week in chat. I'm sure our fans had a good time hearing what you had to say.
Thank you.
Got to thank all our sponsors: Wendy's, Monster, Neutrogena, Fleshlight, Kevin Storer Distribution, Pizza Hut, and Funko. Thank you all for giving us the ability to do this show week in and week out every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on youtube.com/fantasy football fantasy. Yeah, that's our name. I saw your face.
Fantasy football.
I was actually going to attempt to say it when I first got on here. Oh God, they're coming for me.
Hey! We found out about your muffin stash.
My muffin stash.
This guy's hoarding muffins.
No, I was going to attempt the name when I got on here, but I forgot. It's fantasy football fantasy football fantasy.
That's the 5 Fs. The 5 Fs.
It's fantasy football, fantasy football. That's 5 of them at least.
You can follow us at FFFFF podcast on Twitter and email us at fantasyfootballfantasypod@gmail.com. And as always, every Wednesday at 8:30, we'll be here on youtube.com/fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
You make it sound so easy.
I've been doing it for 12 weeks. It is very hard.
Dude.
I had to count it on my hands when I say it for Twitter because I don't remember how many Fs there are.
It's really good for the SEO,
Who came up with it?
Not me.
Definitely me.
That's a
okay,
Luke
name.
And then, of course, now it's time for our theme song.
Oh yeah.
Which we play on my cell phone.
We're very high tech here.
Very high tech. One day we'll get our soundboard back too.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta wait for that beat to drop.
Yeah.
If you've never heard this song, you can find it on DirecTV Fantasy Football Fantasy Commercial. It's the Manning brothers singing about fantasy football. It's tremendous.
They'll do anything.
It's a really great rap song. But that's it for us for real this time. Thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy your Thanksgivings.
Be safe.
Yes, definitely be safe. Don't forget on Thanksgiving Eve, many driver services are offering free rides. Take advantage of that. Be safe. Have a good Thanksgiving. Good luck to your fantasy football teams. And we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Eat some rolls.